Welcome to DFS Insights, where the match behind the match comes to life. I am David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. And the event up on the block is UFC 303, Pereira vs. Prochazka, Part 2.
Yep, I'm excited for this one. With your lineup success as our top priority, this is where David and I are going to dive deep into what fight matchups we think you should be targeting in order to put yourself in the best position to be at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the night. So we're going to break down the strategy behind our picks and share our insights to enhance your lineup construction.
Yeah, so here we are finally, UFC 303. Finally, looks like, the fights are locked in. We still have the weigh ins to, finalize that. But, after a bunch of ring around the rosy, mainly with the main card there, seems to lock in. So, hey, from McGregor Chandler, which also would have been a great fight to watch. But I'm interested also in watching this rematch, Pereira versus Prochazka. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into our three matchups we're going to be discussing that potentially could put you up there in that top 5% or even hit that 200K to first. These are like we mentioned, this is going to be for large field GPP, and basically that's our strategy in this video. So with that, David, okay, let's go ahead and get into our first matchup, which is going to be Mr. Diego Lopes versus Brian Ortega.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see Brian Ortega fight. Um, I've been watching some of his interviews and whatnot. He has gone through a lot here in his personal life. So it should be, between that and he did actually, his last fight was at 155. He was going up a division. So now he is cutting weight, on 2 weeks' notice back down to 145. He did admit it was going to be tough, but that, he's been here, he's been around the block. And he said he's not going to have a problem making the weight. Yeah, he's going to be fighting Diego Lopes. I keep messing up his name. I don't know why. But yeah, he's coming off three solid first round wins, two of them by knockout and one of them by submission. And these are against, definitely some decent prospects in the UFC. So, uh, Diego Lopes is coming in. It does look like as a slight favorite. DraftKings has him here at 8,400. Brian Ortega coming in at 7,800. So, I could see a finish happening here, or if not, if they do get on the ground and get some grappling going on, I could see some takedowns happening, some submission attempts, and those, that type of stuff is what equals fantasy points. So that's what I'm excited about with this. It should be a bang 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 card. So and bang bang matchup. What are your thoughts on the Ortega Lopes fight?
Yeah, no, I like this matchup. Being with its a third as of now 13 fight card. I'm looking for those inside the distances and round one finishes because those are what's going to really put you up there in the optimal. Since there's like I said, there's going to be basically 13 winners. So even if you had a solid 6 winning lineup, you might not be up there in those large fields. So looking at this, Lopez coming in at 150. Vegas has him at a plus 150 to win. That's just a solid win. So that's translates to 60%. Inside the distance is 110, which is basically 48%, and then a round one finish at plus 400, which is basically 20%. His ownership, unfortunately, is a little high for that. It's sitting at about 35%. So he's, going to be, fairly owned, and which puts a little bit less leverage you have playing him. But, the DFS community agrees he's going to win this. 70% say, he's going to win. 63 of that is going to be knockout. Ortega, on the other hand, coming in at plus 120, that's 45% just to win inside the distance at 275, which is a 27% chance to win. And round one is at plus 700, which is 12.5%, which doesn't sound great, but with 16% ownership, that's basically huge leverage at that position. So I think I'm going to be leaning towards Ortega in this, for the potential that if he does get that, inside the distance or round one finish, he could be, less owned and, puts me at a better chance to, hit that top, with less duplication. So that's my, why I like, this fight. I'm leaning more towards the Ortega.
Awesome. Yep, I fully agree. I'm with you. I think he's one of the better underdog plays from the multiple facets that you mentioned there. So I'll have exposure to both, but I will definitely be heavier on the Ortega side.
Yeah, I'll have exposure to both as well. So nice. Yeah. So moving on here to the second play that I think here. And no, it's not because Andre Arlovski was, basically my favorite fighter, 25 years ago, and the first pay-per-view I, ever ordered myself. But looking at it, I try to play the odds and the leverage plays here, and looking at it, Arlovski, as great as he was, in his prime, right now, he's not looking so great. So he's on a 3 losing streak here. Vegas has him at a 210 to win. That's a 32% chance to win. Inside the distance is at 700. That's basically a 13% chance. And round one is plus 1800. So that's 5.3. So basically, looking back at his last, I think it's like 7 to 8 wins. They're all by decision, and it's mainly him, kind of basically circling the outside of the cage, doing pop shots, and less skilled heavyweights going against, and he's just basically kind of nickel and diamond his way. Unfortunately, the last 3 he got taken out pretty quick. So looking at Martin Buday, he's coming in. He's a big boy. A lot bigger than Arlovski, so I think he's going to be using that weight to his advantage, and he's pretty heavy-handed as well. Vegas is looking like he's the favorite coming in, and just to win a minus 275, which is a 73% chance to win. Inside the distance, they have him at a plus 180, so that's 36% chance, and then a round one finish is at plus 375, which is 21%. Chance to get a round one finish, which is great. Basically, he's, I think, sitting in my ratings, about the second highest leverage play for a round one finish. Ownership wise, he's coming in at about 14% ownership projected, and Arlovski's sitting at about 12%. So both are going to be low owned. I'm going to be probably under the field on Arlovski because I just don't see. He's 45. He's been around too many miles. 57 fights. So I'm going to be real heavy on Buday on this fight. I think I'll definitely be over the 14%. What do you think?
Yeah. This is I believe it is the only heavyweight matchup on the card, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So it's always important to definitely have that in your considerations, because it always takes one punch, no matter what your background is as a heavyweight, in order to get that first round finish or just get a finish, period. And so Arlovski, while it's like plus 1800, as you mentioned, for like a first round type finish, or probably even a finish at all, the chance is there, and he does have that power. Again, I won't be as heavy on him as you mentioned. It's more focusing on Buday and having him be the much bigger fighter, the younger fighter, and like you mentioned, this is more of a leverage play as well. At that 90, I believe the 9100. I'm a little afraid, of it maybe going the distance just because of Arlovski. Even at 45, he is just that beast animal. So I'm a little afraid of it going to a decision. To where if it did, that would make Buday probably not optimal. But I will definitely have some access to it due to the leverage stuff that you mentioned. So yeah, I like the pick, like the matchup, and yeah, let's hop on over here to our final
All
matchup
right,
that we got.
final matchup. We got Miss Mayra Bueno Silva versus Macy Chiasson.
On Yeah, yeah, these ladies are going to be fighting at 135. It's nice to see that division kind of starting to be finally built, built up with someone. It used to basically be Amanda Nunes, and that was really it. I mean, you could argue Holly Holm, but Holly Holm also has kind of jumped around between 125, 135, and I believe she's even fought at 145. So, um, that her only loss is to what I believe was the pending champ, Raquel Pennington. Other than that, Bueno Silva's coming off 4 wins in a row, uh, 3 of them by submission and one of them by decision. She stayed very active. I love active fighters, and I love me grapplers and submission artists. So the question is going to be, can she get, Macy Chiasson to the ground? Um, I actually also really like Macy Chiasson. Um, you know, she, she's gone win loss, win loss, win loss. Um, she doesn't quite have the resume that Bueno Silva does. But I will, I'll have exposures to both sides of this. I like the fact that it's a 135-pound women's fight. And I do think Bueno Silva is going to be a great play. Chiasson is long though, man. It's gonna be a great fight. I'm actually really excited about this woman's fight. So, how do you see some of the leverage plays being made here on this matchup?
Yeah, I like this fight. This is, I think, probably one of my best leverage fights. Our leverage plays is Bueno Silva. She actually started off as a slight favorite, but now it looks like Vegas is turning it. So now she's at basically a plus 100, which is basically 50% chance just
Wow.
to win. Inside the distance, 170 plus 175, which is a 36% chance to win, and a round one finish of about 15 point. Is a plus 550, which is basically 15.4%. There, her ownership. This is the key here to give her the best leverage. She's only going to be about 9 to 10% projected ownership, which is crazy. So
Let's see
with
that. Yeah.
those with those odds that Vegas has, and then her ownership being less than those, that's like one of the best leverage plays so far on the slate. I'm not going to go too heavy. I'm if I'm expecting her hopefully to get quite a bit of takedowns in this. So Chiasson, is coming over here now as the favorite. So Vegas has her at, minus 125. So that's basically 56% chance to win. Inside the distance, though, she's 600, a plus 600. So, like I said, Bueno Silva is a plus 175. She's a plus 600 as a favorite. So that's only 14%, and then a plus 1,000 for round one, so 9%. And she's projected ownership 47% ownership.
Wow.
So there's no, I don't understand. Her ownership might be high, I guess, due to the fact of her low salary, 7.4K. But if you look at her fights, she might be long. She has the reach advantage. She's tall, everything, but she likes to wrestle. So
Yeah.
um,
True.
if I can see her, potentially, if she decided to just, step back, hit her with a few jabs and stuff like that, and she has the chance to win. But if she tries to wrestle Bueno Silva, I think Bueno Silva is going to probably submit her real quick. She's going to catch her in one of those crazy submissions that she can do, and that's going to be a
Yeah.
wrap. So I'm obviously going to be hoping for that. I'm going to be going, quite a bit over the field on Bueno Silva, especially at 10%. So I'll be going over, still a little bit under, as women's fights, I do need, the finish there. They typically are a little bit lower output than obviously the men. But being a women's fight, expect lower ownership, just out of that point alone as well. So that's why I like this fight. So
Nice. Yep. No, I fully agree. I'm with you on that. I will also be a little over the field on Bueno Silva. I watched the press conference today. There wasn't a whole lot of speaking between her and Macy, but what I did hear was just pretty badass. It was just kind of like, yep, and I'm gonna basically submit her, and she set her mic down and didn't say anything the rest of the time. So
no.
it's pretty
All right.
pretty awesome.
All right, so those are the three picks, three matchups. Breakdowns of those. Please give us a like, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And also throw it in the comments too if you'd like us to, give an opinion on a fighter or fights that you guys that we didn't cover. Obviously we try to keep this short and sweet, and then just the three top picks here. Obviously we're going to be quite a bit using the other fights as well, but these are the three that we think are the best leverages for this slate. And with that, we'll go ahead and end it on here with our math predictions coming in up on the slate here. So all the green is basically above 50%, so they're basically the favorites to win. So I am going against the math here, going with Bueno Silva. They do have Macy Chiasson as the favorite. Looking down, all the yellow names are basically fighters with less than 3 fights in the UFC, so their stats aren't necessarily evened out yet. Those predictions are a little bit, less. I want to say less accurate, but basically, yeah. So. But other than that, this has been fairly accurate. I think we think like 60-70%. We've been pretty good on this. So use this to help you kind of decide and make those winning lineups. So with that, this is DFS Insights UFC 303, and with that, good luck. Hope to see you up on that leaderboard, David.
Yep. Good luck to everyone out there for UFC 303 International Fight Week. Super excited about it. Definitely also check out the Joe Pyfer Andre Barute fight. I see up there, it's barely, that's going to be a coin flip, but I could definitely see a finish going there as well. So good luck to everyone out there. Please like, subscribe. We're going to be here for all the UFCs going forward, and even continuing through the NFL season coming up. So, yep, good luck to everyone out there, and see you guys up on the leaderboard.